Hello guys, you're welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to be looking at the container widget inside of Flutter framework. So what is the container widget? Well, the container widget is a widget that I'm just going to remove this body just so that I can put the container here just like that. Now, what is the container widget? Like I said, so the container widget is exactly as its name states. It's just something that actually has a lot of properties that can help to contain some sort of child or data or whatever. So container widgets have this it actually has a lot of properties. Okay, you can set size on it, you can set position, you can set padding, and a bunch of other things. So if you have if you want to have like a child widget inside of your view that has a lot of properties you want to add on them, then you can use the container widget to help you do that. I think I'm just going to do this so that I can find common ground for this. Yeah, I think this is much better, right? All right, this doesn't have to be on top anymore. Yep, there we go. So now I'm going to show you how to what the container widget looks like. So I'm going to do hot reload just to make sure that I clear the screen with the container now. Now, as you can see, the container widget just by itself doesn't really have much. All right, all it has is just without putting any parameters, it just shows an empty canvas here. But we could start to do some things like, for example, we could put alignment, padding, color, decoration, and a bunch of other things like that. So for example, let's put some color here. So we could specify like color to purple. And now if we do our hot reload, you're gonna see that the color is going to change to purple, as you might expect. All right. And of course, the container could now have a child, all right? And the child could be like a text or whatever. And so the container could have like a text child here. And when you hot reload, you're gonna see that now the container uses the size of the text, all right? Of course, you could add some sort of padding. So if you want to add padding, you use this edging sets thing, and then you see like all. So all simply means add padding to the left, right, top, and bottom. And the padding is going to be like we can do something like 8.0, for example. And if I refresh this, you're gonna see what it looks like. You're gonna see that now it has added the padding to the child, 8.0 on all sides. And you can also add margins. So margin is going to be like edging sets. Also, if I add like 16 for margin, you're going to see that it's going to put margin around the container itself. All right. So you can see. So what happens now is that it's going to put 16 pixels of margin here, 16 here, and the left and right, as you might expect. So if you want to have like some sort of properties, you have things like margins, colors, and fancy kind of stuff inside of your view or UI, maybe you should consider using a container. But if you have just padding, for example, to add to a widget, then maybe a container is not the best option. If you just want to add a color, maybe colored box, there's a widget called colored box. But if you want to combine all these properties, then you could certainly do it. We have this, we have some other properties like width. Sometimes the properties don't apply. Depends on the child of the container and the constraints. So you can see now that the property actually applied here. We have 300 by 300. Depending on the constraints passed to the container, you determine whether the width and height of the container can actually hold, which means the parent of the container. In this case, the parent of the container is the scaffold, and the body of the scaffold can contain, 300 by 300 pixels of data. Anyways, you could also create box constraints that you can give to a child. So, for example, you might want to be like max width. You can say max width is 200, max height is 200. And now what this is going to mean is that I have to make this const. There we go. So what this means is that you're going to tell the child, okay, this is how much size you're going to be having, 200 by 200. Now the container itself can actually have a bigger screen, but it's telling the child that this is the child's constraint. All right. So in this case now, to test this, I'm going to style the text align so that I can make sure that this works. So if I do text align, try to align it to the center, and I refresh, now you're gonna see that using the constraint here, the text has been aligned to the center, and anyway, that looks like it works. I don't know for sure if it did, but anyway, that's how you set constraints for the widget. Anyway. There's also some more properties. For example, you could set decoration, right? So I could do decoration here, and then I'm going to have box decoration. Now, if I set a decoration for my container, I have to remove the color property, because if I don't remove the color property, I'm going to get an error. And the reason is because the decoration itself has a color property, and whatever decoration you apply is going to overlay the container. Alright, so if I want to set the color now, I have to move the color to here and green, for example. And just to see the error message that you're gonna get if you fail to listen to what I just told you, you're gonna see that we're gonna get an error here. It says cannot provide both the color and a decoration, blah blah blah. And so if you remove this now, you're gonna go back here and you're gonna see now that everything is gonna work as you might expect. Anyways, that is all about containers in this video. And inside of the decoration, of course, there's a lot of parameters you can check. There's a decoration image you can apply. You can apply a border, set the border radius. So for example, if I want to do border radius, I could do border radius to circular, and then set it to like 16 pixels. And then what is this? Yeah, so this isn't a const constructor, so I'm gonna remove the const keyword here. And now you should see now that the border radius has been, and now you can start to appreciate the power of Flutter and how you can just basically declare and compose things, and you just see the changes as you go. So for example, now I could decide to add like shadow, so and then you have a list of box shadows that you can specify here. And then so inside the box shadow we could have like a blur radius and a spread radius, I think. If this is going to really show me what I need to see, I have no idea. Okay, here we go. Where is it? Blur radius. So blur radius is like 0.0. Blur radius and spread radius. So you can do something like 2.0, and you can apply as many box shadow as you want in different directions, and it's gonna work. Of course, I have to make this const. Is it just me or Sublime Text is just slow? Anyway, so you can see how that turns out. You can make this 1.0 again to see exactly what I get. And of course you could play with that as much as you like. And that marks the end of this video. I hope you guys learned something about containers in Flutter with this video. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll keep playing with the thing, however. What is this? If I say spread this, what happens? There we go. That looks much better. Anyway,